Hey everybody, welcome back to Word Balloon. It's John Suntress. A couple show notes before we get started. I talked a little bit about it on a couple of the intros of the current shows, but really, during this tough time, I'm going to do my best to provide as much entertainment as possible as we all get through this. I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot more video and a lot more interviews, so I'm on lockdown just like everybody else as far as work goes, and I want to entertain you as best as I can and help us pass the time and get through this tough time. So if you have any questions or comments about the show, please reach me via email, john@wordballoon.com. You can follow me on Facebook under my name, John Suntress. I've added a Word Balloon video page called Word Balloon Live. I hope you'll check it out. A lot of the same stuff that I've been putting up on YouTube will be there. I'm going to be doing some live streaming as well in the days and weeks ahead to, again, entertain us and kind of keep us, occupied. But thanks a lot for listening through the commercials. There might be one more before the show starts. But as always, thank you for listening and for your attention. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suntress here. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is careful. And we're going to get through this. And I'm going to do my best to give you as much entertainment as I can. It's certainly impacting my work. I was teaching and still am teaching at Columbia College. But like most schools across the country, they've kind of put a 3-week hold on classes, and we're transitioning to doing online classes, which is a big relief. And honestly, I feel bad if the kids were left hanging. They're learning important stuff in my class, and I want to help them out. So we're all going to be kind of, doing a little less publicly, and, that might be a lot of, inside time and time within yourself. So I'm going to do my best to give you a lot of good entertainment, not only as usual through the podcast, but I'm really trying to do more video as well. You might have seen I did the Ed Cato interview that was also a podcast this week. It is available as a video on wordballoon.com's YouTube channel. And then also I've repurposed a couple highlights from old interviews. One, actually, a recent one, Jerry Ordway, another episode that I released this week. I took 10 minutes of our conversation and turned that into a video with visuals to talk behind the scenes of Batman 89. And then one of my favorite little exchanges that I had with Brian over the years, Bendis, from 2018, when he was talking about his plans for Superman, the whole, should Superman have shorts or not shorts? I'm a pro-shorts person because I grew up with that. And growing up with circus acrobats, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I don't understand, where people are like, well, what the hell? No. Makes perfect sense to me. So what I did was I took that portion of the conversation, turned that into a video. It's 4 minutes of, I think, a lot of fun, and I hope you have a chance to watch it and let me know what you think of it. And I'm in the process of figuring out how to live stream. I'm kind of a chucklehead. That's why I'm an audio guy and not as much of a video guy. But we're going to do what we can to, simulcast both the podcast and, add a video component to the show as well. Hopefully do some live streaming and doing some Q&As with creators, or maybe all of us finally hanging out on those, as always promised, Word Balloon Town Hall meetings. And so really, I'm gonna do what I can to give you guys as much entertainment as I can while we're all getting through this. Man, it feels like World War II, and here we are on the home front, and as our boys are out there fighting the good fight, we'll do our best here to keep you entertained. Ask your grandparents about that. But anyway, today it's a Word Balloon at 15 republishing of a great panel, one of my first big celebrity panels that I had the pleasure of moderating. I say I moderated, but really one of the stars really took over and handled most of the moderation, and I was glad to hand it over to him. This was from 2008 at the FX Con in Orlando. My buddy Mark Hammond, Brother Bear as we call him, the manager and part owner of All Yeah Comics, especially the Harrisburg store, was kind enough to invite me back when he was the talent wrangler. And is like, you would be great. We want you to do panels. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I got to introduce Leonard Nimoy. I didn't get to do the panel, but I did get to introduce him and got a nice handshake from when we were still shaking hands back in the day. Got to hang out with Leonard Nimoy for a couple of minutes. And nicely done, son. I mean, the thrill of my life. Spock, giving me an acknowledgement. That meant a lot. Well, this is from 2008, and it's a Whedonverse panel that was headed up by, Nicholas Brendan. All of us, our favorite Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. From Angel, Elizabeth Rohm, who was Kate the Cop. And then, of course, went on to bigger things as well. Let's face it, it was a bigger audience. Law and Order. She was incredible on Law and Order. One of my favorite actresses, frankly. And then the always irrepressible Nathan Fillion, as evidenced by this convention panel. He was great. I mean, seriously, I'm sure those of you who are fans have already encountered him and seen him at shows. He is the guy that will shake your hand, look directly in your eye, and say, hey, I really appreciate you paying attention to me. I mean, that's basically what he's saying. And you know it's genuine. And he couldn't have been sweeter, I mean, honestly. And this was early in my kind of attempts to run a panel. You'll see me sitting down for a minute, but then I run out there like Oprah or Phil Donahue back in the day with a microphone to ask questions from the field and get people a chance to ask these people great questions. But it was a lot of fun. And truly one of my favorite panels. It's something that I hadn't thought about for a while. Now, again, much like the podcast, expect in a couple hours to be able to access the video of this as well on YouTube's video channel. But I think you're going to enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. Again, Nicholas Brendan, Elizabeth Rohm, and the great Nathan Fillion, a Whedonverse panel from FXCon back in 2008 on Word Balloon today. All brought to you by the League of Word Balloon listeners. Thank you greatly, League, for your support. Really, it means a lot, and it means a lot that you think enough of the content that I provide here at Word Balloon, and are willing to support the show by subscribing via Patreon, patreon.com/wordballoon. I saw a lot of League of Word Balloon listeners at C2E2, and really, it means a lot for your support, and I thank you greatly, League of Word Balloon listeners. Word Balloon is also brought to you by Aftershock Comics. Aftershock, who are providing some incredible entertainment for you in the days and weeks ahead. There's already great books out there, like The Man Who Effed Up Time from John Layman, and things like Undone by Blood by Zach Thompson, and God Killers from Mark Sable. There's also Stephanie Phillips' brand new book, Artemis and the Assassins. So many other fantastic books through the Aftershock imprint. Really, I'm looking forward to talking to a lot of Aftershock creators in the days and weeks ahead to talk about their books. Go to their website. You'll find full story descriptions, preview pages, and the way to order these books digitally or the diamond codes to order through your local shop at AftershockComics.com. All right, let's go back to 2008, and I want to thank again Mark Hammond from All Yeah Comics back in his role as the Artist Alley Wrangler for FXCon. I had 2 fantastic years at FXCon, and they flew me out, they put me up. It was a fun time. It's when I met Adam West for the first time. Got to meet the cast from Eureka, the cast from Heroes. So many great opportunities to just hang out. Ron Glass from Firefly and Serenity, but I know him best as Lieutenant Harris on Barney Miller. It's just a thrill meeting these people. And William Catt from The Greatest American Hero. Peter Graves from Mission Impossible, the original Jim Phelps. Literally every morning. Good morning, Mr. Graves. Hi, John. It was like, I can't tell you how exciting it was. So let's go back to this great panel, a Whedonverse panel, featuring Elizabeth Rohm from Angel, Kate, Nicholas Brendan, the great Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the always entertaining and always on and incredibly gracious Nathan Fillion himself from Firefly, Serenity, Castle. So many great. The Rookie, his new show. Really good stuff. But this is back in 2008, and I hope you'll enjoy it now on Word Balloon.
From Angel and Law and Order, Elizabeth Rohm. And of course, from Firefly and Desperate Housewives, Nathan Fillion, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm sure you all have a ton of questions, so seriously, let's just get right to them. Okay. I'm sure everybody...
You're right, I do have a ton of questions.
Okay, excellent.
First of all, Elizabeth, Nick, how you guys doing?
We're good.
You good? Yeah. Having a good weekend?
We're a little pregnant. We could have a snack. Sit down.
Shaking lots of hands, stuff like this?
Lots of handshaking.
The Whedonverse. How has it changed your lives?
Remarkable.
Yeah. Grocery shopping, has that changed for you?
Remarkable. Remarkable.
He's funny, this guy.
How often do you hear Elizabeth, I loved you, an angel? How often?
It's usually, I have to say, like, having done such a cool, hip, young show and such a kind of older, you know, the fans of Angel are much more fun and they dress better. And the fans of Law and Order are usually like my parents' friends. They're very serious.
Remarkable.
Can you spot a Joss fan from a mile away?
Especially when they're in costume.
Remarkable.
Nicholas,
Remarkable.
I get a lot of flack for poking out your eye.
Remarkable. Remarkable.
I got these friends, and they're huge Buffy fans, and they come over to the house, and they're excited. They're going to watch Buffy at my house. They used to have Buffy parties, but they stopped doing that because people would talk. People would talk during the show.
Remarkable. Remarkable.
And the show's going on, and I'm kicking everybody around and punching people, and they're like, yeah, this is awesome. And then I poke out your eye, and they go,
Remarkable. Remarkable.
why did you do that? What are you going to do? What's going to happen to his eye? Does he get a magic eye?
Remarkable.
Channeling Fernando Lamas. I like that.
Do people meet you and go, hey, your eye?
Remarkable. Remarkable.
I think this could go on for an hour.
Yeah, he's gonna get like 50 and get
You
like
guys
100
better
bucks or
jump
something
in and
like
start
that.
asking questions.
Remarkable.
For being remarkable, I'd like a remark.
Nathan Fillion, everybody. Nathan Fillion. I think they said, keep it on.
Yeah, take it off. Obviously, someone who's a huge fan of my work, with all the love and respect that goes along with it. Thanks.
Elizabeth, how far along are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a week short of 7 months.
Wow.
So any second.
Do you know, or are you keeping it a secret, or?
It's a girl.
Cool.
You unwrapped it.
That's awesome.
You unwrapped it before Christmas. Peaked.
You know why? Because it's really, anybody who's been a mother or, you know, is pregnant here, it's very strange to be pregnant and not know, you can't refer to it, you know? I needed more specific than that, so.
More specific.
Now you can
And more
buy.
specific.
Now you can buy clothing.
And now it's about shopping.
Yeah.
My mother was so sure when she was having me that she was going to have a girl, that she bought a lot of girl.
And that's what happened.
There you go.
Ba-dum-bum.
There you go, Nathan.
We weren't rich or anything. They weren't.
You there, yes?
I have a question for Nathan. Could you tell us about your Kids Need to Read project?
Why don't you have a mic?
I don't know.
That's a fair question. Do you
Where's
need to
your
run
mic?
around? Here, let me run
She's
around.
asking about the
I'll be Phil Donahue. Hold on.
Dr. Phil.
Like Dr. Phil Donahue. 6 just happened right there.
I asked Nathan about his Kids Need to Read project.
Yes, Kids Need to Read. Excellent question. Are you
But do they
involved
really?
with this charity in any way, shape, or form, ma'am?
No.
No, whatever. Kids Need to Read. This friend of mine wrote a sci-fi novel, and he found out that for kids, and he found out that a publisher will not promote your book in any way, shape, or form. So he took it upon himself to do a book tour and to go to different schools and to different libraries and talk to people about this sci-fi book that he's got. And in doing so, he realized that there are libraries all over this country that are incredibly underfunded. There are libraries with empty shelves. So he started a charity called Kids Need to Read, and he and I have been trying to sell books and at cost, and all the proceeds go to Kids Need to Read to buy books for underfunded libraries. I think a very, very good cause. There's a website for it, Kids Need to Read, something.com, and
That's really helpful.
it's truly.
And then there's my website, youcan'tmakemeread.com. So it's clashing
Not when you're looking at the pictures.
charities.
Just keep looking at the pictures and moving your lips, and no one will know.
That's why I was wearing those little earbuds. Remarkable.
We got one over here.
It's the only word he read in the book. That made sense to him.
It's for Nathan.
Yes,
I've watched you since you were young on One Life to Live.
13 years ago,
I know it.
1994, the best Joey ever.
It was the best, Joey. That I have to say. No comparison. I enjoyed you when you came back for Ace's funeral.
A moment of silence for Ace Buchanan. Thank you.
I was hoping that you'll make more guest spots
On One Life to Live?
on One Life to Live.
Have you guys ever done a soap opera?
I did dance.
I did One Life to Live.
Did you really?
I got fired from One Life to Live. Yeah.
What year were you there?
I was there in '98, and I did like 6 months, and then.
Who did you play? What was your storyline? Who was
What
it?
happened was there was a new family that was written, and the writer who wrote the new family got fired, and along with her characters. So it was good. It was the right thing, you know. Nothing else would have happened. I'd probably have stayed there forever.
Yes.
But, you know, but it was a great 6 months because I'm from New York City. It was a good job.
It's kind of like it's the boot camp. I mean, you go in every day and you got 30 pages of dialogue, and you better get it right
You better.
because they're moving on.
You better.
It's like, ooh, can I do that again? Nope, good enough. Move on.
No, it's true. It is.
Did you win any
it's a great
awards?
experience. For One Life to Live?
Yeah.
No.
I was nominated for a Daytime Emmy. Thank you.
Were
for
you
asking.
really?
I was. For best Joey ever. So yeah, that was,
Then there was more than one Joey.
oh yeah, I replaced.
Joey.
I was 22 years old. I replaced a kid that was 16 years old. Then there was a guy who came after me. I did 3 years, and a guy came after me who was shorter.
60 years old.
And he was Italian, and he had like one eyebrow.
Okay. That's a Joey to me.
That's a joke.
Oh, wait a
That's
second.
Joey.
That's so funny because
Donnie
all my
Jeffco.
scenes were with Yes,
Donnie
with Joey.
Jeffco.
That's funny. They could have been with you.
Yeah, and Robert Strauss used to go around all the time singing Joey, Joey, Joey. That's all the words to that song. I know.
We got a question over there.
Over here.
So yeah, anytime I get a chance to, I always go back to One Life
Over
to
here.
visit. So I'll do a guest spot anytime.
Question over here, please.
Where are you? Over there?
He's over
Check.
Hi, you both have done what you call genre pieces, you know, Buffy or Angel or Firefly. Is your approach different when you're doing more realistic pieces, Law and Order, Kitchen Confidential, or Desperate Housewives? Is your approach as an actor different when dealing with big soap opera genre pieces
Do you
compared to?
change your acting style? Do you change
I
the way you act?
saw demons still. I still see demons. Can't get them out of my head, man. I mean, right now, I'm looking at a demon right now.
And so are we.
So, how long did it take to put that costume on, buddy?
Are you a hologram?
I can't see a thing right now. Well, obviously, if I'm, let's say, acting opposite a praying mantis, or if I'm acting opposite a real life person, I'll change my acting style just a little bit. Kind of like I season things, you know? You don't want to oversalt something because you can't take that back. So be careful what you say to your loved ones, you know, because words are like bullets.
Lock and load, everybody. Remarkable.
Got one right here, guys. This gentleman.
Wait, Elizabeth, you were going to say something about your
I
acting
know I
style?
was about to give a soliloquy about acting. Forget it. It was better that you moved on.
Nice.
Bullets.
Forget it.
I'm going to admit something in this crowd that might be a little odd. I loved watching the shows, but I don't know anything about Joss Whedon or what he does on the show.
Easy, guys. This is the
So
side where
I'd
we
like-
open our
Like
arms
that
to.
song, though.
We don't shun these people. We open our arms to them.
I'm here to learn.
Show them the
and
light.
I'd appreciate, because I'm sure you were doing Joss Whedon, but I don't know. So tell me a little bit. Can you say a little bit of what it's like to work?
I've never done Joss Whedon. No matter what anyone said, I've never done the man before.
Do yourself a favor.
It is a rumor. It's a rumor.
Good kisser.
60 moves is
Remarkable.
Remarkable kisser. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this about Joss Whedon. How many people here have been touched in their heart by Joss Whedon? Horseshit. How many people? Let's hear it. Remarkable. Stole that joke from Nicholas Burke.
All right, we have a question over this side.
This is for Nathan. Nathan, if just for fun, for like one day, you could portray a different actor on Firefly besides Captain Mal, which of the male characters would you portray?
Well, you cut me short there, so I have to be male, right? Well, I guess I would say I would do Jane, because Well, it would cut down my getting ready time because I wouldn't have to shower.
What would change? You're not showering now. I think that you don't shower.
Well, now I powder.
Okay. Talc.
Yeah. I just dip. I have a powder bath.
You've got.
I have a crane.
I've got a rascal at home, so I'm not gonna judge you for just talking.
Got one over here, guys.
Thanks for coming, everybody, and I have a question for Nathan. I was wondering if you recall the work you did on the Outer Limits.
Yes. Next question. What was the question?
The Star-Crossed episode. That's one of my favorite hours of science fiction. I was wondering what your...
Outer Limits.
Yeah, Outer Limits.
Yes, I do remember that.
You played Michael Ryan.
Yes, I did. Did you guys ever...
I've heard of the show Outer Limits.
So they just entirely new cast every week, and they do like a sci-fi show. Just an entirely brand new. Here it's a 1 hour... And mine was on, what network is that? It's the Outer Limits is what it's called.
Yeah, on the Outer Limits network.
It used to be Showtime, and then it went to syndication and Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi Channel.
That's right.
Are they still doing it?
I don't think, or no, actually, I heard they're bringing it back.
Good.
I actually heard that Outer Limits is coming back.
They fly you up to Vancouver, you have a great time, you hang out with people for 10 days, and my episode was Casablanca, basically.
The White House.
There you go. And I was what's his name?
Rick? Were you Rick like Bogart?
No, I was Michael Ryan. But I'm just kidding. I was It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It sounds great. Yeah. I'll do it. Let's fly to Vancouver. Why don't we just fly ourselves up there and do our own little episode?
Do you guys, I know obviously Nathan is doing Desperate Housewives right now. Elizabeth, you're pregnant, but did you guys have things pending after the writer's strike coming up? Things, nobody's shooting right now, but I'm saying...
Anything pending?
Well, no, I was actually doing a new show called Big Shots on ABC.
Yeah.
So I ended up not continuing to do that because...
Never find
So
mess.
who knows, whatever happens next. I have a movie coming out in October.
Cool. What's it called?
It's called The Kreutzer Sonata. I did it with Angelica Houston.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Nick?
I'm breathing.
Good.
Remarkable.
Good.
Remarkable.
I don't want to answer that question then. No, I will. I'm going to answer real quick. I got Trucker coming out. It's an independent film. I'm doing the voice for Colonel Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman animated feature.
Nice.
Starring Carrie Russell, who I just did Waitress with. That's wonderful. She'll be playing Wonder Woman. I got another film called Chilled Miami, which I started in Winnipeg, and I'll finish off in Miami in March.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, this is Wonder Woman. This is completely independent of the one that Joss was doing.
Yes, completely. This is an animated feature.
Well, you never know because sometimes they take live action and they say, screw it, let's do some cartoons to it instead.
Once again, a project I didn't have to shower for.
Okay.
And you're the romantic lead, Steve Trevor, right?
That's correct.
Very cool. Excellent. And I know there's a next question over there.
I was really, really sad when Drive was canceled because you're very pretty and I like looking at you on TV.
I heard that you were sad, and then what?
Oh, and I was wondering if...
Don't be afraid to hold that right to your mouth.
Okay, I was wondering if besides like the 4 episodes that they aired and the 2 episodes that were on the internet of Drive, if there was ever going to be, like if they filmed more and they were going to put it out on DVD or if there was only those 6 episodes. Because I was very sad.
Well, I had Nick and Elizabeth come over to the house afterwards. It was pretty depressing, so I had my friends close to me. And we actually filmed a little kind of makeshift episode.
And here it is.
We used a lot of Hot Wheels on the little stuff on Hot Wheels.
Well, I meant, like, was there any more to it? Like, or was there only those 6 episodes? You know how sometimes they, I guess they do extra and they just don't put it.
There was only 6 episodes, and then I don't know if you heard, but then we were canceled.
Oh yeah, I know. There was tears.
Mostly when they cancel the show, they stop making it.
Well, no, what I mean, like,
Mostly.
are they gonna do like a DVD or anything and have?
I don't know. They didn't tell me those plans. You know what? I had to find out they were canceled, like from the TV. You know what I mean? Yeah, they don't call me up right away.
There was lots of tears. Don't worry. Everybody cried for you.
Cheers.
Because we love you.
Yeah. Also, I'm a terrible driver.
Question here?
Yeah, hi. I was going to ask about the writer's strike, so follow-up question to that one. This is for Nicholas. Is Thanksgiving awkward because you're famous and your brother, who looks just like you, is not famous?
Thanksgiving, is it awkward?
Or any holidays if you see the family.
And this is awkward. Kelly is actually more famous than I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you him?
I guess you're not aware of his work?
No, unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you don't.
I will say hi to Kelly.
Okay, this one is for Nicholas. I was a big fan of Buffy, and when the way it ended, I wasn't quite happy with. But if you could go back, and I know your character Xander had a big crush on Buffy the whole show. If you could go back, would you ever want them to change your characterization, like you and Buffy get together, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We totally all got that.
Hey, yo, my clothes were off. I say different things when I'm naked. Yes. And I would have kept my eye, too. If I had anything to say with anything.
Nick, have you seen the Dark Horse comic books as season 8 has continued?
I have seen them, a lot of them here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't, they don't send me these things.
Oh, geez.
I wish they would.
But he can't.
Well, I don't know where to get them.
And yeah, Nathan, have you seen the Firefly comics?
Yes.
Do you enjoy them? Did they do a good job? You think?
There was those 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished. I read them a long time ago.
Did you read them?
Yeah.
I don't even know where to get them.
I think right here on the show.
I don't know where comic book store is. The internet? I'm not even quite sure what you're talking about right now.
I also have to say, probably one of my favorite TV scenes on a television show with anyone, anywhere, was your scene where the girls, all the potentials start coming to you and saying,
I might not live to see tomorrow.
Which one?
I might not live. We don't know what's going to happen. I might not live to see tomorrow.
and then the big pillow fight breaks out.
And then I'm masturbating? Yeah.
I'm about to be someone's mother, okay?
But you're not yet. Take it all in now.
I remember I was on set, and I was just coming on set as you were wrapping up that scene, and the feathers coming down. I was like, what's going on here? They go, you missed it. You missed it. Yeah, a lot of crew guys really well done.
It was all interesting.
One more over here.
Hi, Nathan. This is for you. A 3-parter. Will there be another Serenity?
Nope.
Do you have any pets, and do you skydive?
Do your pet skydive?
No, yes, and no. The first one, I don't know. If there's no one's told me. Listen, you guys, everybody coming up to sign an autograph, I'm so glad to meet you. When you go, is there going to be more? It's like, you think you're going to find out here from me right now? This is not how it's going to happen. It's going to be on the internet. It's going to be big. It's going to be thing. It's going to be like, yeah, from me at the table. Do I have pets? Yes, I have a cat. She came with the house I rent. I'm not a fan of cats.
It happens, yeah.
She's 18 years old. I go, great, she's going to die pretty soon, right? That's when they cat. 6 years ago.
He still has to buy cat food. Remarkable.
Yeah. Just stop buying the cat food.
Problem solved.
Hello. I can't believe we haven't talked about this before. Anyone here?
Got time? This is for Nathan. In Firefly, your character just flowed all the way through really well. But then when you did War Stories, when you were tortured, it was a little bit more dramatic. Did you find that hard to do, or do you have to psych yourself up for it?
No, I'll tell you what was the hardest part about War Stories was there's a portion of the thing where we're getting electrocuted up against these kind of we're tied to these racks. So we're getting electrocuted, so we're just doing kind of like epileptic fits, all that. The next day, the back of our heads were swollen like we were smart. Yeah, that hurt. But no, it was just more of the same. Keep acting. Act harder. Act stronger. Act less.
Act better.
There's that too.
Got another question here?
This is for Nicholas. What was your favorite episode of Buffy to shoot?
Actually, all 3 of you, I want to know favorite episodes that you've done in the Whedonverse.
Probably.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
My favorite episode.
Played Zed.
War Stories probably was my favorite Buffy. I think so. Either the musical or Hush, I think probably. And then followed followed by probably number 144 on the list would be the one where I lost my eye. So Nathan would be in the worst episode I've ever experienced of vampires. And it's not you. Good for me. No, yeah. I mean, you made a list. You know, I found out about that by reading it in a script. They didn't even make it die. Do you know that I found out later that Joss actually wanted to kill Xander? And then the writers talked him out of it. That's good. They said that it might be a little bit too. So instead he named me.
Here's the other thing. He wants to kill you in a car.
This is, listen, guys. If anybody has a drinking problem, don't let it affect your work. Drinking problems so rare. It's okay. It's okay.
Elizabeth, your favorite Angel?
I guess I like the one where it was the truth serum one, or the truth stick, or...
You got hit by the truth stick.
It was the first time I was ever funny in my life, and I think the last. And I loved it. No, it was probably my favorite one.
Okay.
Nathan? I'd say there was Out of Gas was, I think, one of my favorite episodes. I think what Joss Whedon's so good at is writing about relationships and how people, it's not about what the show's about, it's about what the people are about. And I think Out of Gas does that really well.
All right, we have a question over here.
This is for Nathan. Would you ever see yourself in the future creating and marketing, just kind of my head in the song. Sorry about that.
Creating or marketing?
It's going to make you a lot of money.
Yeah, a pheromone enhanced product for men.
Oh, a cologne.
Would you bottle yourself and sell it to people?
I was once approached by European scientists who wanted to clone me. And I said no. No, that would be wrong. So that's
honestly, just pick up at any drugstore, just a thing of talc.
I was going to say, there's scratch and
TALK.
available. That's good. That's good.
My nieces always, whenever they smell Tide and
Bleach.
What's that?
Pure bleach.
The fabric softener with the titty. Downy. Whenever they smell Tide and Downy, they go, it smells like Uncle Nathan. They think I'm visiting if some laundry is arisen.
And whenever they smell Uncle Nathan, they go fetal and start crying.
There's Uncle Nathan in the house.
Put like bounce under your arms before you leave. Is that what you do, basically?
Just my clothes. I like to wear clean clothes. Yeah.
Got a guy here?
All right, this is a question for all three of you. What remarkable superheroes were an inspiration to you when growing up?
Wonder Woman! When I heard Joss Whedon was making that movie, I wanted to dye my hair black.
He's not anymore, though, so don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Probably the Bionic Man.
Steve Austin, nice.
Steve Austin. He was the easiest superhero to pretend to be because he just has to slow down.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also how I putted too.
I always thought Superman was cool, and I had
He had underoos.
a play school teacher during lunch. She'd let us watch Superman, the old live-action TV series, and every time we saw Superman flying, she'd say, "I sure could use a cape like that." So I always thought the source of Superman's power
was his cape. There's the curse.
Oh yeah,
Superman curse.
Yeah.
And if I were Brendan Rouge, I'd be looking behind me. You know what I mean? That's what I do. That's why I turned down the role of Superman.
Is the Wonder Woman cartoon, Nathan, your first Warner Brothers animation, or have you done?
No, I've done the Justice League Unlimited,
I thought so,
where
yeah.
I played such characters as Vigilante. Vigilante.
Greg Saunders. Right?
Which is, your body of work on the Justice League was amazing. The range from Vigilante to then Vigilante.
And my body was amazing.
Your body. I never saw it, but I would imagine it also smelled really good.
If you saw me do Caleb, you saw me do Vigilante.
Okay.
Just not as much killing the women.
Okay, question over here.
I didn't see you do Caleb. I was blind. Why did you do that? It hurt so bad.
It was in the script. Come on.
It hurt so bad.
Hey, Nathan, you've been beat up a lot. What was your favorite fight scene to film?
I think that first one in Serenity, me versus we have this arch villain who's like super cool, and then we have me, and I said, I'm going to take you on. And I get my ass kicked early on in the movie. Like, I could have taken him. I'm all busted up and bruised, and I think that's the cool thing about Miles. He'll start a fight. He'll fight. I'll fight you. He'll never win, but he'll fight you.
Over here.
Hi. I've heard in interviews that Joss Whedon made Buffy because he didn't like the way the original movie had turned out. So I was wondering, Nathan, how the filming of Serenity was different from the filming of Firefly?
You know what? It was much the same, only we were just kind of given a little more license. I know that they were very, very pleased with us. When you film a TV show, and Joss Whedon, I think in particular, he's fast.
Yeah, well,
those stuff go fast.
Yeah, he knows what he wants, but if you don't got it, you're moving on.
Yeah. So making movies is a really slow process. So when we're shooting 30 pages a day, producers are going, "This is great, keep going, whatever you guys like." Yeah, we didn't get that much with Fox. Why are there horses? How come no aliens? Dude, I mean, that's a question you ask when you read the script, don't you think? We just made a $10 million pilot. Now you ask?
Listen, that's what you say. The horses are aliens.
Alien horses.
You gotta think quickly on your hooves.
Right. CGI and some antennae.
That's all you need to do. Fix it in post.
Hello. I'm a fan of all three shows, but I wanted to ask Nick if it was time for the Snoopy dance.
The Snoopy dance, yes. I do this on command. I do it.
I see London, I see France. Brings me back.
And over here.
Yeah, judging from the reaction one of the other questioners got, I think y'all might not like me that much either, because the only thing Joss Whedon's ever done that I liked is Firefly.
What did I tell you? This is where we open our arms.
Just like 12 years of other Joss up there.
I love Firefly so much, and
the crowd I'd worry about.
And I like Miss Rohm from Law and Order, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
Firefly fan that likes Law and Order.
Can you talk about the difference? Go on.
I had a question, and I don't know. I apologize. I'm a newbie to the conventions. I've never been to one of these, so I apologize if this is something that's been hashed and is a dead horse or anything.
It's okay. We like you anyway.
I've got friends that back home that will talk about the reason Firefly was canceled, and I wonder if anyone wanted to comment about whether or not it was actually Joss Whedon's fault. His inability to work with producers that was responsible for the show being canceled. Or if anybody had anything that they wanted to say about that.
No, you know what? When you're dealing with stuff like this, I'm not saying it never happens, but very rarely does somebody come in and do something because it's personal. It's always just numbers. This is a business. It's when art meets finance, art's going to lose. It's about numbers. It's about people and numbers and number crunchers who meet artists. So, there's going to be some clashing there, but it's always about numbers.
Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Jessica?
Yes.
Yes, hi, Jessica.
I told you before I really enjoyed your introduction to the Serenity hardcover, and I also have read some of your blogs on your MySpace page. I was wondering if you really enjoyed writing as a creative outlet, or if you had any other creative outlets you use.
The only thing I don't like about writing is I type so slowly.
I audio blog.
Do you?
Yeah.
I would ramble or say something I regret.
It's transferred into.
I bought some software that you're supposed to speak into it.
I hear it doesn't. It's lame.
It doesn't understand me.
Understand a word you're saying? Yeah, because it doesn't speak English.
That's my problem. So So I'm trying to work with the software, trying to get it going. So I can maybe just. I also bought a typing program, but apparently that takes time too.
You know what you do actually? My right now girlfriend taught me this. You just do the alphabet over and over and over. A, B, C, D, E, F, D, and then you finally understand the thing.
Sounds like fun.
I don't do it. I don't do it. I audio fly.
But I do enjoy writing. Thank you very much. I like it. I try to write like I speak, which is being run on sentences.
Do you over comma? I over comma. I'm a comma whore.
Comaholic?
I'm a comma whore. I didn't say comaholic, did I?
There's help.
No, because I know. Listen. I'm a holic, but it's not a comaholic.
I'm a rageaholic. Can't live without rageaholic.
Rageaholic.
Folks, I hate to say it, but we're out of time because the guys have to get back, and they'll be happy to answer more of your questions if you'd like to come over and say hello and get an autograph.
I just have one comment before we leave. I noticed a lot of you taking photos. I think that's fantastic. When I go online and you've taken 60 photos, I would consider it a personal favor if you don't post all of them. Maybe take out the ones where my face is a little like this. If you got 60, just put up the good ones.
Hey, listen, as far as I'm concerned, there's not a bad picture of me, all right? So you just put them all out there.
Guys, thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks,
Thank you, listeners.
Big hand, everyone. They're going to be over there. By all means, stop in, get in line, get your question answered first. And thanks for coming out.
That's the Whedon panel from FXCon in 2008, one of my first celebrity panels I got to do at a convention. It was a thrill. It really was. And like I said, all three of them couldn't have been sweeter. God, I wish somebody had videotaped, and I wish I had audio recorded another great panel I got to do, The Women of the Whedonverse. That was amazing. I had Claire Kramer, who was Glory on Buffy. Elizabeth Rohm was on that panel as well. Morena Baccarin, oh my God. That woman just oozes charisma. You can't help it. This was back when she was doing, I believe, V, or about to do V. There's also Julie Benz, who is also an amazing. But my personal favorite, I got to tell you, Juliet Landau. You know, Drusilla from Buffy and Angel. Could not have been sweeter. My God. And honestly, she was like, hey, are you doing my panel too later? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm doing a panel with Billy Tucci and Joe Michael Lindsay. And she's like, aw. And honestly, I was so bummed because I would have switched to Juliet's in a heartbeat. She is so sweet. And I'm a big fan. I was already a big fan, even before Buffy and Angel, like when she's in Ed Wood. And of course, I love her parents, Barbara Bain and Martin Landau. Good Lord. Coming from great stock. But always a fan. So yeah, it was, really, I can't tell you how many great stories I have from the FX show. I did some floor interviews at FX, and I'm going to kind of see possibly and present some of those as well in the days and weeks ahead as we lead up to Word Balloon's 15th anniversary. And also, like I said, we're all kind of bummed. We're going to miss cons. So let me share some great convention panel memories with you when I got to do great panels with Jonathan Hickman and Brian Bendis. And, I already, repurposed the Immermans panel, I think, recently enough that I'm not going to bring that one back. But maybe some of the others that I was able to do and, at least maybe give you guys a virtual con experience. Also, like I said, really trying hard to learn how to live stream, and at the very least, maybe I'll do some Q&As with some creators as well, just via Twitter video. And then, give you the video and audio as a podcast, and let you people know in advance so you guys can ask in advance questions. I mean, we got one of those already brewing. If you've been following Tonight Online, you might know who I'm talking about, but nothing's in concrete until we make the time to do it. But and that's why I don't want to even promote something like that until I know definitely that it's going to happen. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. More great stuff is coming along in the days and weeks ahead as we all, like I said, try to pull together and find ways to entertain ourselves. Well, you've always got Word Balloon. We've got your back. Hold my beer as I try to bring you more wonderful programming and content in the days and weeks ahead. Thanks a lot for listening today. There's also the other episode today that I released, our Star Trek Picard review of Episode 8, Franco and I, pulling apart the latest episode, and two old men on our porch yelling at clouds with Abe Simpson. What can we say? But I hope you enjoyed those as well. Thank you for the feedback on the Picard reviews as well. But today's Word Balloon is brought to you by you, the League of Word Balloon listeners, with your domino masks and capes. I appreciate your support via Patreon, subscribing at patreon.com/wordballoon, or you can click on the Patreon ad at wordballoon.com. But thank you, League of Word Balloon listeners. And thank you, Aftershock Comics, for your patronage and support as well. Shaking things up at your local comic shop and online right now. Brand new titles like Stephanie Phillips' Artemis and the Assassins, and John Layman's The Man Who Effed Up Time, joining other brand new books like Zach Thompson's Undone by Blood, God Killers by Mark Sable. A lot of my favorite new creators have been coming from Aftershock. Matthew Klickstein, You Are Obsolete. Of course, my old buddies like Paul Jenkins and Tim Seeley and Cullen Bunn have so many great books as well. Go to their website, especially now when you got some downtime and you're looking to, entertain yourself. Why not pick up a brand new book from Aftershock Comics? They have so many great genre-bending things, and especially consider it a companion to your superhero reading. Nobody's expecting you to replace, an old favorite or anything like that. Make some new favorites. Go to Aftershock. You'll find full story descriptions, preview pages, and the diamond codes on how to order these books through your local shop at AftershockComics.com. Thanks again for listening. More great Word Balloon to come next week. We're already, on Saturday, so expect some great stuff. If not, early Monday, then certainly by Tuesday. And I've already got a couple interviews lined up. Can't wait to tell you about them. As long as they are firmed up, we'll give you a chance to ask some questions of some of the upcoming guests. And we'll all make it happen. And I'm telling you, working really hard to figure out live stream. Be patient with me. Until next time, thanks for listening. Word Balloon is a copyright feature of Shaky Productions. Copyright 2020.